is quite possibly the controllers want the CIA asset back, and so they're willing to go in and find out just why Zuckerberg has gone against the program. Why isn't he not using it to enhance the position of the politicians? When I'm sure his mission was to do exactly what Breyer intended, was to just monitor the activity of most people on Facebook, rather than having any kind of I guess you could say duty to push one politician over another politician. Anyway, but it's certainly a marvelous source of material for anyone who wants it, basically. Yes, you can mine a lot of things with reverse speech. You don't need Facebook, you just need reverse speech. David John Oates with us tonight on Ground Zero. Fascinating stuff from Mark Zuckerberg in the hearing they had just a few days ago. If you have any questions or comments, 888-673-3700.
Is this a re-record?
That's 888-673-3700. Some remarkable.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait, why does this all sound familiar from like months ago? I'm just like, why does this sound so familiar?
Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your work.
Damn advertisement.
What if there were a business degree that furthered your career and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors, all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? To find out more, text PREPARE to 79645. That's PREPARE to 796.
I feel like this bores me. Yes. Not too loud. There we go. There we go. At least that's better. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you trying to like? Are you trying to conduct it like you're like a conductor?
Really?
I don't know what to think of what you're doing. Put some music. I let my folks know I come back. And thus, they just don't return and leave me hanging. Oh shit, guess this went. So it wasn't a lie. Well, happy birthday to you, Carl Rove. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was the 4th. I just turned 21 at midnight. Fuck yeah, dude. Nice. Well, I congratulate you. Here's your present. he's just enjoying himself over there. He's kind of lit. What the fuck? What is he doing there? He doesn't want to get too loud, but he's got all this energy over this one song. The restaurant I work at served me a beer at the end of the day, even though I wasn't technically 21 yet. That made me be on my feet since 10 a.m. Worth it. Dude, fuck yeah, man. Dude, okay, I'm not gonna lie, your job sounds pretty dope. They're like, you know what, you turn 21 tomorrow? God damn it, you're gonna get yourself a beer right now, and that's right. You know what? Welcome to the club. Here's your beer. Here's your rite of passage. That's what, dude, the clock just struck midnight here on the East Coast. Hell yeah, dude. Just in time. Because now, hey, we're celebrating. Dude, wow, like my head can go from like over here to over here like in a dot. I don't know how I can do that. It was like 30 minutes before midnight. It counts. It counts. I say that counts. It counts. Oh yeah. Okay, okay. That actually fucks my. I'm not doing that anymore. Doing that intense, like, I don't even know how I was doing it. I think doing a lot of headbanging. Do you get breaks during the workday? Yeah. During my lunches, I come back home, and during my breaks, I just go to the 7-Eleven, literally right across the street from my workplace. So, yeah, of course I get breaks. I'm allowed to 2, but I only take 1 break in the lunch, mainly because the day goes by so fast that it's just easier to just stay and get shit done and take like another break near the end of the day when you're just cleaning. The restaurant is the same street I live on. Yeah, you got the same routine I got going, dude. Yeah, I remember last time we were talking about it. Last stream that I did a couple hours ago before Decaf Ride popped up and it was like, hey, we're doing the show now. But we're talking about actually someone who hasn't popped up in a while. I can walk to work. So do I. I can ride my bike if I wanted to too. It'd be a little quicker. But I'm sure you know Venom too, right? Where's he been? I haven't heard a pipe or a peep from this motherfucker. I don't have his Twitter, so Venom? Yeah, you know him. We talked about his ex-meth girl and how he got a new one who was her. Yeah, exactly, dude. Where is he? He came back? No, where is he? That's what I'm asking. I don't know where he's been. I've been like trying to put the SOS out on his ass. Friends with him on Discord. Oh shit, well get him on our Discord. If you haven't yet. I haven't been on Discord in a while, to be honest, so I'll have to check up and see what's going on. But yeah, I'm just like, where is he? He hasn't been here. We haven't had our talks and adventures and other discussions in a while with him. Because when it's like us three having conversations and shit, that's why I feel like it's like the most fruitful. Not that everyone else here who watches isn't, but it's just like we always end up talking about some crazy shit. Even with other people here too. Though the one thing I do have, like so with okay, like I know the last stream you, Jimmy, and I were on. I like to raise a glass and say a big fuck you to Dave Rubin and Ben Shapiro. I cannot agree more. I actually don't have any brewskis anymore at the moment, but I would do that if I did. I would toast to that. I mean, I guess there is one open, but Robert's been drinking that for like the last 3 days. I don't know, it's all good. It's yours. I gave that to you to have, and you've been letting it last a while.
Is it really?
I mean, the only place I haven't been to yet is the liquor store. I haven't been there yet. I've been everywhere but there. So I think at some point I might just go there to see what, like, and pick that bottle out and see what's cool. Let that last like a month. But I was gonna see something before all that. Whatever. And I'm like, whatever. I totally forgot what I was gonna say. I literally forgot what I was gonna talk about before all that. Taking his glasses off. Any 24-hour stores to sell beer, wine can sell whenever they're open. Unfortunately, that ain't how it is up here. Like, we have a 24-hour Winco that has alcohol and stuff. They have a call-out time, which is 2:30. That's gonna sound a little bit. So we can't, unfortunately get anything after like 2 or 2:30, depending on the store. So, like, we can go to these stores 24/7, but can't get alcohol after a certain time. Unless it's like a state store or something, if that's what you're talking about. But, I mean, any 24-hour store I've been to that sells alcohol and stuff, I've never, I haven't seen those before. They always have a cutout time for me, or at least out here. Oh God, whoa, I can't do, that's retarded. If I want to buy over-the-counter opioid tablets at 3 a.m., I should be able to. How's work? I didn't work today. I've been off today. My next day off is Thursday, so I'm gonna be working for a little bit in between that. Okay, though, whatever. It's gonna be fine though. I mean, a couple days in between with a day off, and that, like, I was able to get some financial shit out, taken care of with school. I worked all fucking day. Sucks. But hey, man, fucking hats tip to you, dude. Because I mean, I got from my break at 2:30. Was that the only break you got? Because I mean, and I mean, how long was it? Like 10 minutes or like 30 or? Because if you didn't at least get a break. What are you looking for?
I don't know if I'm here from something. Oh yeah, that glass. What's over here?
Like, I need water, but dude, working in the kitchen sucks. You gotta remember that time keeps on slipping into the future. Hey, you don't have to remind me. I work in it. I mean, I've been for like the last 2.5 years or so, so I know how it feels. It truly sucks. It was over 2 hours. Got off at 2, came back at 5. Okay, that's actually legit. You know, like, if that was how work was, like you had a 4-hour work period and then you had like a 2-hour break and then you came back for like another 4 hours, I would be okay with that. I don't see that as a big issue, honestly. I could come back, make some food, and then I could maybe go grab something that I might have forgotten, or, you know, do a quick little errand really quick. Come back, you know. I just keep telling myself that you gotta keep putting one foot in front of the other, get closer to cooking. Are you doing like dish work and like cooking work? Because for me at least, what helps is I plug a podcast. I'll have like an earbud in, like just like, I mean, like I have my earbuds here right now. I'll just have it just plugged like this. You know, I'm usually like this most of the time. Just have one in, and then and have like a podcast or just a playlist of music on low. Usually that helps, especially when I'm cleaning and shit, but, you know, you just gotta, like, muscle through, and that's the only way to really do it. Not to mention that I commute is a 1-minute drive. My old job is only an hour break, and I live 15-20 minutes away. Yeah, for me, it's like a little 4 to 5 minute walk, but still right down the street. So, during my lunch breaks, I only have about 20 minutes to chill here. But I have plenty of time to smoke up. I have plenty of time to go take a shit, grab something to munch on. All that. I have time to do all that in 20 minutes, or maybe a little more, 25 minutes, depending on how quick I am. So, and plus, as long as they're not overboard on being late on lunches and stuff, they're not going to notice or give a fuck, really. Well, I guess they will, but as long as they're not really bad with it, they're not going to talk to you about it. Yeah, I mostly wash dishes. That's what I do. Started getting trained on making pizzas. That's cool. So, it seems like they want to expand you into other departments within the kitchen, essentially, like other areas. So, it seems like they kind of want you to do like a jack-of-all-trade type of position, you know, do all sorts of different things. Just take you step by step. So, just our kitchen's the size of that room you're in. Well, then that's actually not too bad of a kitchen. I mean, it's a fairly small kitchen for a restaurant, but, I mean, that's, you know, it's not too bad. But it's pretty small for a kitchen. But you should ask them about how's, like, policy for music or something like that. Could we potentially bring a speaker or have music on the low back here? Just low volume, so, you know, everyone back here can, probably smallest in an L-shaped layout. We kind of, well, yeah, like, because of this big fat room here now, we have like a U-shaped little thing going on in here, but I can kind of see what you're meaning, though. People take headphones. Oh, fuck them, then. So, well, I said a Bluetooth speaker for, like, the whole kitchen on low, so, I mean, just see, like, try to work around with it. Say that I really feel more productive when I have something, you know, in the background for us. Oh, people bring headphones, I mean. Oh, okay, so it seems like they're chill with it then. Alright, never mind. Alright, seems like you're alright. Probably allowed to listen to a podcast. Yeah, just ask, you know, a couple employees about it first, and then ask, like, a manager about it later. But don't mention, like, you talked to anyone about it. And then, yeah, I mean, it seems like you got a pretty chill thing going, though. At my old job, we weren't allowed. Damn, that sucks. I mean, here at my job, like, we aren't until a certain point. Then we got a little leeway. Like around 7:30 onward, once at least our department's starting to close, we're allowed a little leeway. And then once we're closed, I mean, it's not a big deal anymore. But like in the middle of the day, of course, you just can't have headphones in or whatever, because we also have customers we're serving too. It's not we're just in the back all day type of thing. So yeah, it's kind of 50-50. It just depends on it. Obviously, checkers can't. People in produce, I'm sure, probably do too, to an extent. Ooh, good. That's a good song playing right now. But you know, there's a lot of different departments that, you know, allow it. Even the boss lady's cool fit. Dope. That's cool. See, my manager's pretty chill. It's just she's not there that often, so a lot of shit doesn't, you know, it gets kind of procrastinated on. But, well, she's been back a lot lately now, so it's not too bad. It's what you can do. Alright, I might need to just get the glasses back on for this one. This is a good song. I do fun. Oh. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. I'm pretty sure this is copyrighted, or else I would boost it up a little louder. But I don't want to get dinged. Or else I would get more into it. But I just kind of have to sit here just quietly enjoy it. Well, not really. You're fine as long as you keep talking. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's not too hard to, like, I can let it keep on going for like 10 seconds at most, I've noticed. Because I know, I've had a couple times where I got dinged, but it doesn't do anything to me. So, you know, I think I'm alright. I mean, this is a radio edit. Tomorrow we're gonna buy a bunch of beer and wine. Fuck yeah, dude. That's what I did. I just bought a bunch of, like, beer, Irish cream. You know, I might just get some later tonight, too, anyway, Irish cream. This stuff's pretty good. I would say, like, one good-sized glass of that stuff would be good enough for me in one night. And plus, it puts me to sleep. I mean, I've noticed that... I don't know if we had the Wookiees before I ran out of that cream. But, I think it was a strain before that we had. Like, that plus, like, a glass of that stuff knocked me out, dude.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah, I was just like, you know, I just fell asleep, and I woke up, I'm like, oh. I mean, it was like, you know, I was prepped to go to sleep, because I kind of assuming all that would just put me to sleep a little bit. Yeah. But this Wookiees, this has put me to sleep, and I'm not even trying. I mean, this is kind of the mix of the lemon kush that I got from my friend now, so it's, you know, I'm not really feeling sleepy anymore, so I think I smoked a Wookiees. I think there might be a nug in here left that might be, well, they're both big ones, so if one of them is... I'm going to figure this out. Yeah, one of these is still Wookiees, I can tell. One of them's a little bit more darker and, like, fuzzy compared to the other one. So I still have some Wookiees left over. Give me some shelter. I always want to do a cover of the song. I think I feel like there could be like a really good like prog metal rock fusion, and I feel like the vocals in the song could really just be. I feel like they're lacking. They're great, but I feel like the male vocals are just lacking. Like I feel like there could be some really good. I don't know. I feel like there could be a really good fucking cover of this, and I want to try to do it.
I'll bring that to you, dear fuck. Huh? I did bring that to you, dear fuck. What's the name?
Just a little bit, yeah. What's up? Well, what to do? Told you I'd be back. You missed it earlier. I was like I was like doing this like crazy shit, dude. I was like going all over the place because there was like an intense funk song, and I was like, fuck yeah, bro. I just kind of progressively just went insane. Jimmy, I am 21 now. Welcome to the club, man. I'm getting drunk tonight. Hell yeah, dude. I mean, in a way, my 21 experience was more of a longer thing, because it was mostly the second week. Kara of Awesome, did you meet me on Twitter? Oh yeah, this thing. Apparently you two aren't talking, I guess, but evidently that's not true, because you and him seem like you're fine. So, I have nothing to worry about. Nah. Alright. Anyway, but anyway, what was I just saying? Like, my 21 was, like, honestly, my 21 birthday was, like, a week late. Honestly, that's how I see it. Because, like, most of the cool shit that I did was the next week, not the week that I turned 21. So, I kind of see it as, like, a late bloom 21 birthday type of thing. Like, a lot of the cool shit that I did was the next week, but, you know, I had a lot of, you know, fun, cool experiences on my birthday and shit. It's not like I didn't, but, like, I was trying to it was mainly because of work. I was trying to...
There you go. Okay. Didn't want to answer the phone. Anyway, I'll be right there.
But, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, we can let you. Okay.
Yeah, it was mainly because of work. It sucks, man. It does, but...
Be back, guys.
Alright. I've been working all day, every day. Oh, I got stabbed! Yeah, that's how it's been for me, man. It sucks. Well, at least I know where you're going to be if you're not around here in the early hours. You're going to be, working. But now you know my predicament if I'm gone for a long period of time like I was for these last 4 or 5 days. Whenever I'm gone that long, it's probably just because I'm working and doing some shit. Got my first paycheck the other day. Fuck yeah, dude. How much? I'm going to spend it on alcohol. First paycheck I got spending on alcohol. I mean, I would ask how much you got, but I don't want to, like, burden that, like, question. So I'm just going to say, like, you know, I know how it feels to just get that first check and be like, look at all this juicy money I just got. Fuck yeah. So, I mean, like, I don't know how much you make. 100. Well, you know, for your first week, that really ain't too bad. I mean, my first check, because I only worked 2 days for training mainly, I only got like $60, but I didn't give a fuck. That first $60 I got was like, oh my god. And granted, I spent it all basically in 1 day, but, you know, it was basically just like that celebratory check of, hey, let's throw this away a little bit. It was celebratory. But the next week, I got about, like, 200, I don't even remember. It was, like, I literally don't even remember anymore. But at that point, I was like, alright, I'm gonna start, alright, now let's start saving shit. And every now and then, I kind of splurged a little. What's wrong with asking, bro? I don't know. Like, some people are, like, really, like, personal with financial shit and stuff like that, so I just never ask about it up front, or at least in like a public sphere like this. I got $7.25 during training before the restaurant opened. Now that's open, I make $8 an hour. Nice. I'm sure since it's a brand new restaurant too, I'm sure over time that wage will start increasing as they start making more of a profit and get more of a foothold and, you know, like a base there for itself. I mean, it seems like you kind of slept yourself into a good gig. Honestly, it seems they're chill with, you know, having headphones and music, you know, whenever the time, you know, is ready for that and available, like later at nights and shit. And, you know, like, for the minimum wage there, you know, you gotta live with what you gotta live with, you know, $7.25 or whatever the minimum wage is there. But, you know, I can, like, especially with tips and stuff, I mean, you will get, like, a little extra boost over time. It feels like, you know, like, granted, you only been there for, you know, like a week or so, 2 weeks, you know, something like that. I go in tomorrow at 4 and work till 11. So, a 7-hour shift. It's not too bad at all. It's not too bad. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, I could see, you know, since you only been working there for a very short amount of time, you know, you can't really say how, you know, it's going to look, but, you know, it seems like you did get yourself in a good gig there, and it seems like it's going to only go up from there. That's just how I'm seeing it. Show a little ass if you have to. And get them tips. I mean, he does, I mean, for him, he works in the kitchen, so he doesn't have to worry about talking to people and stuff. I'm not a waiter, I don't get tips. That does suck. I mean, when it comes to, like, the tips, at least, I'm thinking about going into, this restaurant that's just a little farther out, but it's a bike ride away. It's like a 5-minute bike ride, maybe like a 10-15-minute walk. And I'm thinking about either being a cook or waiting there. And the way they do tips is they split it equally between everybody. So sometimes I take food out of the tables, but I'm not a waiter. So you do busboy work too. See, they how the tips work at this restaurant. I don't know if you heard of McGrath's, but that's this restaurant down by where one of my friends works at, or at least one of my friends' brother, who's also our friend too. And who's a roommate to our friend Logan, that we all know and love. He works there, and says it's a really good gig and gets good tips, and has been saving up a lot of money from it. So, you know, like, that seems like a pretty good position. If he's making, like, you know, the minimum wage, which I am right now, basically, maybe like 30 cents more than that, or, you know, or something like that. 40 cents, 50 cents more than minimum wage, which isn't that much. And on top of that, tips, which is usually like sometimes could be from $50 to $100 a day. Not too bad. You know, like, as much as I don't like the idea of surviving off of tips, because it's not that I don't like the concept of tipping. I love that idea. It's that, you know, people literally live off of tips, and it's like we have to live off of the hope of someone else's generosity. I mean, you know, looking at it realistically is kind of fucked, but, you know, while it's there, you might as well take advantage of that type of system. I mean, I just wish, you know, people were just paid a living wage so we don't have to worry about tipping. Tipping is just the extra spending money that makes us a little extra comfortable in life. Like, that's how I want to view tipping. Like, it's not mandatory, like, you know, how it's kind of viewed as now, like, you have to tip people type of thing. Like, you know, I want to tip people based off, you know, how they worked and knowing that they are already having a living wage and they're going to be fine even if I don't. But, you know, we're kind of like, you know, this guy's making minimum wage, this guy's probably, or this girl's probably, you know, making only minimum wage, so yeah, I'll give her a tip. You know, like, you know, it's just to me, it's just like, I look at it like, kind of like a little morally, and I'm like, it's kind of fucked, but, you know, and the concept of it, I like, though, if that makes sense. I just want to go for the record and say that I'd lick Nasha Nekrasova's asshole any day of the week. Alright. I never actually bust empty plates back, just taking food to the tables. Oh, so you're like the people who take the food to... Okay, well, that's still kind of doing some part of bus work. I mean, you're busting food to tables. I mean, that's busting, you know, still bus work. That's sailor socialism. Remember her? She trolled Infowars. Oh, okay. I was like... I got confused for the fucking, like, hell hardcore there for a second. What do you think of the hashtag #MeToo? The founders of the movement are being outed as rapists. Well, I mean, to me, Me Too is like 80% witch hunt and 20% genuine actual accountability for people who are actually like fucked up, like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, those type of folks. And then I think it's just a witch hunt for various others, like Aziz Ansari. What's his fucking name? I know Louis C.K. Like, Louis C.K. is a little bit more in the middle, like, because granted what he did is, for at least some accounts, is sexual harassment, but a lot of the other cases, the woman, or at least the women, weren't necessarily against it. I don't see points in Weinstein, Cosby, Joe, let him live in glorious peace. With Cosby, I understand that point. With Weinstein, he's younger than Cosby, and honestly, like, with him, like with Cosby, just have him be on house arrest for the rest of his life. House arrest until you are post-mortem. Just, there you go. Just let him live in his home. Like, what's the point of having a man for his last 10 years of his life just wither away? Like, I actually genuinely do see a point with Cosby a little bit. Like, yeah, I really do agree what he did was fucked up, but, I mean, what about Asia Argento? She started and it was supposed to raping an underage kid. I heard about that, and, I only heard some details. I haven't heard everything. Like, I partially heard, like, the kid was also okay with it, too, but not, I don't know. Like, I'm hearing a lot of really mixed stories about the Asia Argento thing, but if it was straight up rape, then yeah, she needs to be fucking called out, like a rapist. But, I mean, if you want to use actual call-out culture in a genuine manner, that would be done, but I doubt that will. I hope it would at some point, but I doubt. Who cares about Argento? Well, the reason why she's kind of out in the news is, yeah, she kind of started the whole Me Too thing. And also, she's the wife of Anthony Bourdain, so with his recent death, she's just been a name lately. Who cares about these Hollywood fucks? Fuck them. I agree with you. I really could care fucking less. That's why I haven't really taken the time to delve into this whole Asia Argento. I only hear whatever the fuck what else other people are saying. And people have said various different things, like, oh, the kid was okay with it, oh, the kid got raped, oh, you know, she's a little bit, like, I honestly just, like, I've stopped caring. Rosie McGowan says not to worry about it because it's okay when women rape while trying to destroy men. See, that's the problem. Like, look, that's just like this hypocrisy and that is just flooded this whole Me Too thing. It's like, so when women are called out and shit for raping, it's okay when they do it, but when a dude does it, the whole world just needs to fucking destroy them and, like, rip their soul out from the inside and make them a shell of nothing left. Like, if you're a rapist, you get that regardless of your fucking gender.
A woman can rape me?
Well, with this whole call-out culture of the Me Too thing, how they've been calling out a bunch of men for rape, and there's been cases like Asia Argento, and some of the founders of the whole Me Too movement have been, have accusations of rape, but they're not really in the media that much because they're women, pretty much, and they're doing the Me Too thing and calling men out for it. So basically,
so
it's
men
okay.
Want to enjoy it?
Well, women can rape men too, because men don't necessarily have to be in the mood always. I mean, you know, and stuff. But I mean, and also like with Asia Argento, like she did it with like an underage kid too, or something like that. So I don't know. I just stopped paying attention to him for the most part. Beyonce and I have the same birthday. It's the fact that I know that just goes to show that how inundated we are with celebrity worship. Yeah, I mean, there is a strong celebrity worship in this fucking country, and it's kind of disturbing, honestly. They believe guilty until proven innocent, but only for men. Yeah, I mean, actually ignore. It's pronounced Isia in Italiano. Isia. Whatever, I could give a whatever, dude. All men are rapists. Trademark. Yep. Basically. Like, you know, I really am just, like, perplexed at the fucking hypocrisy, honestly. That's just the main thing. Because, like, there have been countless stories, like, there will be a story of, like, a female teacher or something who, like, gets caught having sex with, like, a 16-year-old senior student or something at a high school. But yeah, she gets, like, a suspension and then moves to a different school or something. And the kid just gets, like, expelled to a different school or whatever. Or something. And then, but if, like, a man did that to a female student, like, then, like, the whole world will just be coming down and, like, destroy his life and everything. But it's just, like, it's the same thing. It's just that genders are different. It's like, what's the difference besides gender? You know, it's just like that. And that's just the main problem. It's like, can't we just see that equally? That, like, you know, women can rape just as much as a man could. Granted, maybe not as much statistically, but, you know, they can. Ignore such a misogynist. Okay. That happened to me in my freshman year at high school. Female teacher fucked a student and got sent to a different district. There we go. And if that teacher was a male, you would see him in prison for like 30 years. And, you know, it should... I mean, there should be prison time, but, you know, it's just so intensely radical. It's like, Ignar looked at a woman walking down the street. He is disgusting for not recognizing his rape. Shame. Okay. I am disgusting for not recognizing it as rape for just a woman walking down the street. Okay. But, like, I mean, if it was like a male doing that old shit with the fucking student, he would get like 30 years and shit. Even though the woman ain't gonna obviously gets moved to a different district and shit. And it's like, slap on the wrist. Shame. Shame. Yeah, shame. I mean, how it should be is, like, if someone gets caught doing that type of shit, they should get, like, 10, 15 years, regardless of who the fuck they are. Or maybe 20, depending on how severe it is, you know? But, nah. Call-out culture says otherwise. Court of public opinion says otherwise. The rule of law and the courts have, like, shamefully, have no longer applied anymore when it comes to all these sexual harassment cases and shit. It's just a problem. It's like, can't we just, like, be rational and, like, look at it from, like, an equal lens? But I don't know. I guess that just means I'm a misogynist and a sexist and a fucking white male. You're right, Jimmy Whisperer. I am a fucking white male. White men privilege. The court of public opinion will be death for liberty. It always has been. Hold on, I'll get to that in a sec here. Hold on. Dave Rubin says to regressive communist. I could care less what he says, honestly. But the court of public opinion will always be death for liberty, always has been. I mean, I don't know, I don't necessarily disagree or agree with that. I mean, because I think, like, because, I mean, I do see some factors where, like, this court of public opinion can be, like, beneficial, but not in, like, the way that it has been used, but as in, like, with movements and shit. That's kind of like how I viewed of what the court of public opinion should be, I guess. So let me I guess that, just to make things more clear of how it should be, is, like, I see it as, like, essentially, instead of having just one dude on a soapbox just yelling some shit like, you know, what we're doing now, essentially, it's like, you know, this whole movement and like for example, like the civil rights movement or something like that. Like I will see that as like a big court of public opinion saying like this is what the fuck we want, and damn it, we want it. You know, that's kind of how I view the court of public opinion, and the way it as it is, or as it stands now in modern terms, it's just, you know, a fucking atrocious and abysmal, and I do see it being a death of liberty. So I agree with you in a modern sense, but like I said, like with at least the civil rights movement and things like that, I think you can point to other examples where it has been death of liberty, but has been calling for liberty, at least like equal rights and for others, and then calling out of the class warfare going on. But I mean, I see where you're coming from there. Oh shit, Suzuki's live streaming. Yes, I am. I would straight up kill Jubin if it showed its face in my neighborhood. This Merc, damn son. Hey, defend your homestead, yeah. Fuck it, dude. I'm not gonna condone or condemn that, but it's just gonna be there. What are your thoughts on head shops that also sell legitimate tobacco products? That's fine. I mean, there's head shops around here that do that. I mean, like, there's not that many, and if they do, it's mainly just like the cigars or like the wrap or tobacco wraps, or you can like make blunts and stuff like that. It's not actual, like, they don't generally have to buy like actual pipe tobacco or anything like that necessarily, but I know like pipe shops definitely do. I know, well, I mean, obviously they do, because, but for like an actual marijuana head shop, not necessarily, but they have some, but it's mainly so you can just put it with the weed, and it's usually like blunt wraps, like I was talking about. It's usually the accessory that you go with weed that stoners are usually familiar with. And usually when they have pipes and stuff, sometimes there are tobacco pipes that they have, but aren't like that aren't necessarily for weed or tobacco. You know, you can go either way with them. Well, you have weed shops there. We just have what you'd call pipe shops. Yeah, like, I mean, there are some marijuana shops that also are head shops. You can just buy bongs for quote tobacco use only. Yeah, like, it's the same way here too, technically. Like, bongs are in water pipes and pipes and all that stuff. Anything like this, anything you can smoke with, even steamrollers like this guy right here. Like, I mean, anything like that's still labeled as a tobacco smoking product, even though marijuana is legal here. Like, obviously you don't smoke tobacco with this shit just straight up. You could, but you don't want to. But that's how it's labeled as, because that's a federal law that you have to abide by. So you can't, so that's the way to wiggle around it. I mean, obviously these head shops aren't, you know, selling these. What? Just a game, you're just getting fucked, damn. Yeah, but that's how a lot of these head shops are squeaking away of it, because they're obviously, like, most shops obviously aren't selling for tobacco. Like, if you look at these pipes and pieces that they have, like, a lot of them don't really look like they're meant for tobacco. Of course, they definitely have those type of pipes and stuff to, if, let's say, a federal agent walks in, it's like, what's going on here? And it's like, alright, well, you got some tobacco-related products here, alright. I see, obviously, tobacco pipes there. These are the tobacco pipes. I see. Alright. You know, like, I mean, I doubt that ever happens, but if it does, I mean, you know, DEA's farmers military arm. I agree with that. Over in prohibition states, pipe shops are called head shops. We don't even have any dispensaries here. Yeah, I mean, I know with medical states, like with Montana and stuff like that, they do have like actual dispensaries, but they're very few and far in between. And you obviously need a medical card to go into them. And I don't know if my sister does, But I know she lives in Montana, so I'll have to ask her. What percentage of cops in America would you think have tried marijuana at least once in their lives? Probably almost all of them. Marijuana? At least that? Yeah, probably almost all of them. I'm not being serious. Probably almost all of them. A majority, I'd say. Like, let me be conservative with it. 75%. And here's my liberal estimate. All of them. And here's my more rational estimate. Most, if not most of all of them. Like 90% or 95%. At least once. At least once? Yeah. Now, continuing on. Now, after tried it to continue to smoke marijuana, I would probably say half of them. Maybe a little less than that. Because if, like, half of your force is smoking weed, granted, there's probably going to be some higher-ups that are too, and they're going to help you skirt around it. And let's say there's drug tests and shit. They'll be like, hey, here's some stuff that will help you get that THC out of your system. Well, almost everyone has in high school or college. Yeah. I mean, most of these people probably smoked weed before going into the police force, too. So you have to take that into effect. Because sometimes these officers probably, you know, rebelled a little bit. You know, went to college for a little bit, got their act up, decided they want to go join the police force and stuff. Because they're like, you know, there is some bad shit going on in this life. I've grew up or whatever, but, you know, I want to serve my community, help. You know, whatever, blah, 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 you know, stuff like that. But you didn't get my point, though. Carlo, do you having friends? I mean, I'm just messing, but there are people I can tell are also stones and are super cool. Cool. So, hey, it sounds like you might have some connections to some friends there and shit, too, dude. Right on, man. I mean, despite, like, it's all good. Despite, like, you know, work sucking, you know, you can make some pretty good friends at work. Like, I have a lot of good friends that, you know, who even don't work there anymore, who I'm still friends with and stuff. So, you know, I mean, you could definitely make some pretty good friendships. I know pretty much everyone in the kitchen also smokes. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't be, like, someone fascinated with cooking and not smoke a little weed, dude. I mean, come on. I mean, even my teacher, when I did a culinary class in high school, even I can tell he was a stoner. Like, his character, his appearance, everything about him just spoke stoner. But, yeah, man. But, and I even still know his name, too, and the chef is, like, at least, I mean, his name was, how we called him, we always called him either Chef or Chef McCammon, because that's what his name was McCammon. Well, that was his last name. But, he was just a really awesome, like, how we were meant to have a different teacher for Intro to Culinary, but we had him for that instead. So I was like, okay, this is cool. And how he taught us and how he got us into cooking and everything, and how he showed how to actually, like, do all the recipes and stuff. Like, he made it very interactive and very interesting to watch. He always showed us how to do everything right at the beginning of the class. He showed us a couple cool things, threw some jokes out, was a charismatic guy. Like, I mean, he was an all-around really a cool dude, and him and I actually had a lot of similarities and interests and shit. And I also found out one of the counselors I was with from K through 12 in school was working with them on, like, a program to, like, raise awareness and help people, like, work with kids with Asperger's and shit. So he also was, like, working in with that, and so, you know, he was a really fucking cool dude. Like, I've seen him every now and then, occasionally, if I'm out where, like, so he wasn't a teacher at, like, my actual school. Like, our district had a separate little educational building called the Sabin Schellenberg Center, and then we had all sorts of hands-on classes, like career-type jobs, like radio, forestry, firefighting, culinary, which he was here for, and anything, including even parenting too. That was even a thing. There's been a bunch of women who have, or girls at school who would have fucking doll babies that they had to take care of for like a few months, and it's like, holy shit. It's like, wow. They actually, I'm glad they offer those classes though, because it's teaching them about childcare and stuff. It's like, hey, you want to know how hard it is to raise a kid? Here's a doll that acts like a kid. It's like it cries every 3 minutes. Have fun. And it's pretty, yeah, I mean, and the reason why we had that, shout out to Lynch, fuck yeah, dude. I never had him as a teacher, but I've always heard really good things about him. But, yeah, but we never would have had that if we didn't have the Samuel Shelburne Center. And because they had that, they had a how to be a parent class, basically, that it was an elective. I think that should actually be a core class that, not even just, girls, but, you know, guys should take too as a class. You know, you should learn at least some basics about parenting at early stages, so you at least get the idea in your head. I mean, then later on when you're about to have a child, then you should go through it again and actually make sure it's in your head. But, digressing from that, I mean, we actually had a place where there was like career-based or like life-based type of like classes that we were able to take. And then, you know, I kept on going through with culinary at that place and ended up being not too bad of a cook, I think, afterwards. I mean, I don't make it like a career or nothing, and I'm not planning on to, honestly, but, you know, I think people should learn how to cook and shit. You know, I'm glad I took the class. I mean, I make all sorts of experimental shit, you know, and all sorts of stuff. Nice. Just look up Tacozini, Greenfield, South Carolina on Augusta Street. Oh, shit. Sounds like a taco restaurant. Tacozini, Greenville. But, yeah, I mean, and one thing that, you know, kind of going on to the whole big education thing is I just wish every education district had that. Like, I mean, you know, like, realizing that there are places in this country that literally don't even have that as even a concept for them because they can't even afford that idea. It's just, it really is pretty depressing. Jimmy, that is literally not how it happened. Jimmy, that is fake news. I'm being, like, okay. Carl, here's what happened. I know. Oh, because he watched the stream. Yeah, it wasn't, no, that wasn't it. It was super inappropriate. Well, he's an inappropriate individual. Joe Malloy wants to ignore Joe 16. Yeah, see, like, nah, like, it ain't gonna happen. But, never. I go for young blood, because I am a young blood. Young blood sticks to young blood. Cougars are for, like, I go for females if I'm going for, like, a cougar age. But, what was I about to say? But it was talk about how I was wrestling him and I, like, beat the fuck out of him and, like, decked him on a table and, like, flung him on it or some shit. Like the golden oldies. Well, I mean, if you're a good-looking cougar, hey, there's something stopping me. Just saying. Well, I guess you saying no is going to stop me. But, I mean, but if you're down and I'm down, what's stopping us? You know what I'm saying? What's the Spaz, Stefan, or Harley too? Okay, Stefan's straight. There's no way. What the? No. Not no. And I highly doubt that because I don't know. There's just no way. There's just no way. Like, Harley or me, because they are more frequent, yeah. But everyone else, nah, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't. Hell no to that. Exactly, dude. Oh, Carl, dude, I have to show you something on Twitter and have to DM you, dude. I talked about it a little bit earlier on my last stream, but there's like no way I'm showing anything. But for you, I'll grant you access, because fuck it, I don't care. I could give a fuck less. So close. It was your first beer while 21? Oh, pff, no. What happened? Oh, nothing, dude. I'm just gonna show you a picture. That's it. Tell me what happened. Nothing happened. I'm just showing you a image. I sent you a cursed image on Twitter. Yeah, well, I guess I'm gonna forward a cursed image right back at you too, because now there's a cursed image. So I'm excited to see that later. But nothing happened. But so Cluster was your first beer? No. My first one was Not Your Father's, and then, well, like official one, I guess. But DM me Suzuki. Well, I can't right now. I have to kind of wait a little bit. Like, the picture's on my phone and I'm using it. So I sort of can't yet. You have to, like, wait. So you have to wait. Anticipation.
Director of Clean at the Roof Doctor Institute of Clean, where we make deep cleaning your carpet easy and affordable. Let's go to the phone.
Hi, Doc. This is Sarah. I just got an email from apparently it includes cleaning out my wallet.
Let me guess, their $99 special turned into $299?
Exactly.
That's bad math, Sarah, but I have good news. Here at the Roof Doctor Institute, we packed all the technology
Everybody's decided to ever come back? No.
into one filler machine.
Not that I know of.
I've seen at the supermarket.
Yep. Just rent one of those bad boys next time you're
Nor care, honestly, at this point. I've gotten over him now.
hire the pros.
Attraction?
Starting at $29.99.
It was a funny little troll, though.
Thanks for calling.
Cuckoo, but fun.
Today, your local supermarket and deep clean your home for less. Roof Doctor for a cleaner tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm drunk and high. Jump toys have a low attention spans. Yeah, like, most people at this point just see as, like, same as the old boss type of situation. Here's the new boss, same as the old one. In lower IQs. Like, if you were telling me that, like, right before Trump was beginning his presidency, I would have said otherwise. Be like, okay, there's some people who said that, who probably voted him because this, and this, or whatever, instead of that, or, you know. But now, I mean, it's been long enough. He's seen a record. He says he's never going to have time to golf. He's golfed more than actually doing presidency shit. And he's just basically letting the establishment do whatever they want. He's just doing that plus mean tweets. He's like, oh yeah, you want to do some military shit over there? Okay, yeah, fine, do it, I don't care. Oh, you need this bill passed? Alright, fine, I don't care, here, do it. Tremendous. The average American logical faulties cannot process a series of clauses longer than one sentence. Yeah, I mean, you just have to, like, I mean, with most people, you just have to be very concise with what you're talking about, but also not sound like you're just this talking head, intellectual, you know, like, talking down type of thing. You want to, like, you know, try to encourage them into the discussion type of thing, which is what I try to do at least. I mean, because, I mean, you can, like, it's not hard to, like, talk with someone who's, like, the average American, because I have before. But, I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, if I go out in the streets, it's a lot harder to talk to than just someone here in the house. I mean, definitely it is. Because, I mean, here, you know, you're just with these people all the time. But, like, out there with your friends and, you know, you meet random people and stuff, it's a little bit more harder to talk with people. But, I mean, I've always had really good discussions with random strangers before. So, I mean, you just have to, you know, not let emotions get over the fact, like, even though people tend to do that a lot. I mean, I guess just, you know, I don't know, like, I just, because I don't let the, like, an emotional factor of someone saying, oh, you know, we need to see, you know, fucking kill and make, you know, whatever, you know, someone blurting that out, I'm like, whoa, I'll be like, whoa, hold on, that's a little overboard, man, no, let's not do that. Like, you know, you have to kind of, like, calm them down from like a radical emotional comment that they're gonna make or something like that, or you know, and kind of talk them down from it, and then from there just try to explain in a manner that they will be able to understand best, you know, why that they're wrong, but not actually saying they're literally wrong. Like, you can't be like, you're wrong and here's why. Like, you have to be like, well, I mean, these are, I mean, from, you know, what I've always have researched and stuff, you know, and try to actually point sources if you can remember them too. But I don't always remember like direct sources, but I always at least remember a lot of different various facts of, you know, different things, or at least a general problem what's going on. So I mean, you know, that's, as long as you can at least, you know, try to, like, try not to at least talk down to, in a way that makes them feel dumb, even though they might be, then, you know, then you'll be able to at least get through a little bit. Now, that's not saying you can do that for everybody, or just anybody, but with, you know, a lot of different people, that, you know, that helps. It definitely does. And it's how I've been able to get some decent, fruitful conversations with people. It's like, try to, I mean, sometimes it's not even that they're, you know, have this radical, crazy position. It's just that they have a position I disagree with, and I, you know, just, you know, have a respectful conversation with them about it. I mean, I've had that at school, or at college, and I've had that just out and about in Portland, you know, out here in my hometown, you know, just out, you know, doing transit, you know, it's all over the place. I mean, there's some people that are just so far gone, it's like, I'm not going to talk with you anymore, you're just like a loon, I'm just going to let you be like, yep, okay, alright, this is my stop, bye now, you're crazy. Like, I mean, that's going to happen, especially here in Portland. There's kind of a lot of crazies out there. But, you know, like, for the most part, it's, you know, I could find a way to make a pretty decent conversation about, like, what's going on around the world, or even the country, or just here more locally, too. You know, what are your thoughts on the element Sulfur SL? I'm naturally not, I mean, Sulfur S. I'm familiar with Sulfur, but Sulfur S. I don't know. You'll have to, explain Sulfur S to me. I know what sulfur is, but not Sulfur S. I just meant sulfur. Oh, it's just sulfur? Oh, well, thoughts on the element of sulfur? Well, sulfur's symbol is S. Well, yeah, I know that. Okay, I was just, okay, whatever. Okay, I get what you mean now, though, but sulfur, I mean, I don't know what to think of it. It's just the element on the periodic. It's a thing that's here on Earth and in the universe and shit. I don't really have much to think about sulfur. I mean, it's just there. I mean, I know there's been ways that we have been able to implement it in our lives that help us in a lot of ways. I think we have, like, sulfur-smelling toxins, like, or like natural gas, for example. Like, if you have a natural gas leak, it smells like sulfur or rotten eggs or something like that. So, I mean, you know, it is definitely possible to... Oh, are you smoking it? Ah. I wonder if sulfur is processed through geological processes. Well, yeah, I mean, sulfur is seen, you know, in a lot of natural processes. So, obviously, it definitely is. I can't imagine it produced stars nebulae. Or stars/nebulae. I mean, it also has too. So, I mean, it can in both ways. I mean, we've seen hydrogen do similar things like that, starting out in stars and stuff. And it also started here naturally on Earth as well. I mean, same with oxygen and helium as well. I don't think really helium for, like, good song. I wanted to listen to it at work. Yeah, dude. When I saw the Smashing Pumpkins concert, I saw a Sea Shepherd stand too around the stadium I was at. So they were sponsoring Sea Shepherd as well. I wanted to get a shirt, but I totally forgot. I was just so out of it because I was awake all night from an acid trip that I was just I totally spaced on it. There must be something that decays through fusion and sulfide. I'm sure there is. I just ask Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's like a question I would ask him. To be honest, he would have a way better answer because he's an astrophysicist. He knows about that shit. I don't know nothing. Like I'm a proud atheist, fedora elitist. Fuck all souls. Well, damn, son. Well, damn, son. That was uncalled for! Nah, I don't care. But, yeah, it's just like, what was it about to say? I don't even know. Who cares? Good song playing in the background. But, sulfur is a form of volcanic processes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's how it's formed here on Earth. I mean, it's all... I'm pretty sure it's also formed out in stars and the universe as well in other forms. I'm anti-fedora. You need sulfur to make gunpowder. Well, yeah. Or else we won't have guns. Chinese learned that. Of course. Chinese are pretty smart. I mean, they had their own golden age that needed for biological processes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, I don't really have much to say of sulfur other than the fact that, you know, it's just an element that has played an important part in life in general and on this earth, and just how it just affects us just because it's just here, and we've adapted to it, or at least enough, you know, because it's been around it. I'm sure most sulfur is mostly biological materials. Yeah, like, I think it is, for the most part. Because I know there's a lot of life, like, especially at the ocean floors and near these volcanic events that basically feed off of sulfur and, like, live pretty much around as sulfur. Sam Harris is a mass murderer. You still think neo-Zionistic atheism is cool? I never thought Zionism was cool in the first place, so I never thought that neo-Zionistic atheism was cool in the, you know, in the first place either. So I never thought it was cool. So I mean, I just utterly disagree with the whole premise of Zionism, which is basically to, like, instead of trying to at least have a neutral coexistence, not necessarily peaceful, but just at least neutral, you know, you're just basically doing apartheid and overthrowing people's, you know, the land off that people been there for a while. Like, hey guys, have returned. Well, welcome back, my buddy. Been here for about an hour, just talking shit. But I mean, yeah, like, you know, Israelites and Jews have been there for a long time, but Arabs have been there too. You know, they both have been there. I think that's the main thing that people seem to forget, is that they have both existed in that land before. So, you know, now that one group has come back, you know, or at least have come back in a larger group than they have there, then, you know, I don't know. You know, it's just such a fucked situation going on there, and to try to just make it worse, it's just like that. Like, to me, that's just totally illogical. Archaea is the kingdom of life, separate from the eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Perpetual water containing. Ashkenazi Jews never existed in Israel. Well, I know the Ashkenazi were the ones who were nomadic and European based, so of course the Ashkenazi Jews weren't in Israel, but there have been, like, Jews and Israelites that have obviously lived there, and like, you know, that's never, like, I never have had a problem with people migrating to different lands and shit too either. So, and to me, it's just like, I don't know. You know, obviously I know the main reason, at least with Zionism, at least with this whole thing, is a prophecy that, you know, Israel's supposed to own all of that land and stuff, which like, I mean, that was like thousands of years ago. I mean, time has changed and evolved, and kingdoms have come and go, and nations have came and gone and have prospered and done this and that. Like, you know, it's like, you know, like the rest of the world's kind of went far gone from, you know, from that. It's like catch up and try to like quit fighting over that. Like, to me, I just find it like ridiculous and like very, like, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Very I'm trying to like I want to say degrading, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I mean, aggressive is not a word I'm looking for too, but that's popping in my mind too. But I don't know. I guess like regressive to the progress, you know, to try to advance humanity forward and to adapt ourselves more to this earth and shit, and to prosper the stars. Like, I mean, that's trying the main point I'm trying to say, but that's not exactly the main. Like, regressive wasn't the word I was trying to choose, but this is the best word I could figure in my mind. But I mean, it's like that seems to just be a key issue, especially as of late. So I mean, it's just, like, to me, the best case scenario would just be to find a solution for peace. And there's been plenty of people for a long time trying to call for it with BDS or like two-state solutions and shit, or even one-state solutions. I mean, where like both ethnic groups cohabitate in one state, which I think is probably going to be a better case solution, because a two-state seems like it's going to be impossible now. I mean, there's just a lot of different solutions, but I mean, damn. It's just like both of the leading parties, you know, in this conflict there don't want to make it better, but both people are, but the general mass of both sides are kind of getting sick of, you know, the rockets flying overhead their fucking houses all the time. You know, like, I'm sure they just want, you know, coexistence and peace, you know, at this point, considering, you know, the fucking conflict that they've been living in. Our oceans on Europa. No liberal can even deny this. No one can just deny that in general. I mean, that's just a fact. Apparently there are life forms in the subsurface waters here, but they are most like sulfur-hydrobates. Yeah, I mean, that's why I want to go to the stars and shit, because imagine, you know, seeing that type of stuff. Imagine if we got like a submarine to just shoot through one of those like fresh cracks that formed on Europa's surface, like ice surface. I said surface a lot. And then got inside the ocean and took pictures of a lot of the different life that could be down there, and took samples, and then broke back up on a new crack that's starting to form and stuff, and then we collected the data and stuff. Man, that would be a tremendous find, and the research and the discoveries we would be able to do would just be immense. If we do find a lot from Europa, it'll be only microorganisms and plankton. Don't expect anything more than alien bacteria. That's all I'm expecting. Or like small, very very small multi-celled organisms that are like the size of like a pea, you know. But other than that, like, I'm not expecting much. You know, like the, you know, something the size of a pea is basically like the greatest case scenario for life, you know, discovery there. But, you know, what you just described is what I'm thinking was what we're going to find there. I don't think we're going to find much, but it'll still be a very big discovery, and the research and discoveries we will make with that, and what we'll be able to learn from it will still be immense. I'm sure many moons in our solar system house life. Yeah, Celebus, Titan, Europa. I mean, I think there's even been cases where people said the moon might, in the very deep core of it. I highly doubt that, but people made an argument for it. I forgot exactly what. I've heard them like years ago, so don't quote me on that at all, honestly. But, I mean, people, I think there's, I don't know if there's ever been an argument for maybe Uranus or like Neptune or something.
Uranus.
Well, that's the name of the planet.
I don't know. Beavis and Butthead.
Uranus. Hey, Beavis. Uranus. I define life as a series of self-replicating patterns within matter. I think the definition of life is too arbitrary. Well, sounds right. It might be alien kelp. Kelp is not a plant. It's a protist. It's cellular, more similar to animal cells, but organizes simply like a plant. Huh. So kind of like a... So essentially it's kind of like a worm thing. Like a flat green worm thing that sticks itself to the ground base, and that just kind of operates like a plant. Uranus or Neptune couldn't house life, too volatile unless you abide by my definition. Well, I mean, I think your definition, kelp is not a worm. I said like a worm. I didn't say it literally is a worm. He said protist, and that's what it is. I mean, I'm just describing what it looks like and how I don't fucking like I don't go to the ocean that much, even though it's right there. Kelp doesn't have veins, vascular structure like plants do. Yeah, I mean, kelp is an interesting thing, but it's algae, dum-dum. Protist algae. Oh my god. Kelp doesn't have a cellular cell wall, unlike plants which do. Yeah. That's the one key difference between plant and animal life, is that they have a cellular cell wall. Cellular cell wall. And plants have these like little box grids, while you look at like animal cells, they're all just these little round balls. They're just cells. Plants are not smart. Well, obviously by intelligence they're not, but by which the process of how they live and how they exist as a thing, it's pretty fucking like, you know, it's pretty smart how that plant is able to just do all of what it's able to do to keep itself sustaining. So I mean, by intelligence, of course, it's not smart because it has no fucking brain, but by the process of how a plant survives and how it goes through its process of photosynthesis and shit, it's pretty fucking like complex and smart. Plants do have complex ways of responding to stimuli, albeit. Yeah. I mean, obviously they aren't like smart, but I mean their functionalities and how they function is smart, but that's just their existence. That's anything beyond that is nothing to them besides just their existence and however they sense the world. Which I don't know how they honestly do. I mean, I've always found plants to be kind of a curious mystery to me. Plants need fungus to function for them. Huh? I don't think necessarily. They need well, they need the sun's rays for energy, water as well, and also nutrients within the ground, which the roots get in as well. So I don't know how fungi would be needed though. Fungi generally kills plants, if I know. Hold on here. The roots won't even work without fungi. Hold on here. When they are being predated on, for example, an experiment with insects in nightshade genus, which includes tomatoes, they will send pheromone signals downwind to tell others to change their flavor. Huh. Or for fungi. The only other organism plants require is nitrogen-fixing bacteria. That's proof himself low IQ. Not really, because I'm questioning this whole fungi shit. I'm like skeptical as fuck with it. Anaerobic bacteria. Plus, I'm reading his stuff. This like where's this? I've never heard of like fungi needed for plants to survive, or like trees or anything to survive. Like fungi, for the most part, reading like I am reading, and you're saying that it needs, you know, fungi for it to function and stuff, but I've never heard of that before. But that's all you've like. I'm reading, and what do you want me to say, bitch? It's been proven that when being eaten by insects, tomatoes will send chemicals to ones around them and change flavor to the insects. Huh.
They don't put that sign on the little thing. There is no
Read articles, moron. Send me links, bitch. And I will.
If I went to his house for dinner and he said, look, I'm not
Burden proof's on you. You're the one claiming them. I don't gotta do shit. This fun guy to do that is. He's hardcore about fungi, dude. I think he hit the psilocybin too hard. He really likes those mushrooms and fungus. Like that fungi and mushrooms and fungi. Peak liberalism. Did the tism just explode on you, sir? I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say. I've never heard liberals are anti-science. No. Like, the number one thing about science is being going in with a somewhat skeptic guy and with oh my god. Am I having to explain this shit? Or is one simple lib? Oh my lord. You know, I do got mods for a reason. I don't gotta do shit. There was a Radio Lab episode talking about how mycelium of fungi is similar to the structure to a neurological network. Well, that sounds cool as fuck. Didn't explain how it related to plants, but that was cool as fuck though. Kyle gets it. So you're saying, okay, so what Carl said though was how at least how this the mycelium of fungi is similar structure to a neurological network. Still in the I'm not. Oh my god! I've I could time your ass out, bruh. That's what I said. Oh my. Oh my god. What? I give up. I just give up now. I give up. I could just hide the chat instead. Boom, bitch. How about that? Now I don't have to see you. But then that makes me not have to see anybody. So, now we have a dilemma. I think I'll avoid the dilemma, though. Oh, man, I really wish I had that tea in here. I don't know why I didn't bring it in. I know where it is, though. Ignore fears me, he fears leftists. You know I'm a Demsoch, right? True left. Oh, whatever. I give up. Make Jimmy a mod. Well, it ain't happening at this rate. Most siblings is a thin, almost invincible network of underground roots that fungi have. Yeah, I do know that that is a thing that fungus does have, because even though you might see a mushroom peeking up on top, that mushroom is just like 1% of, like 10% of that fungi. Like the rest of it's in the ground and like spreading out like 20 feet all around. Like, I mean, I know they have a network and like a structural network all within the ground and stuff that feeds off all the nutrients within it. I spent Labor Day working on my feet. I was just kind of chilling all day for the most part. Explaining definition of them Solshig. Well, I mean, I know nowadays the term of democratic socialism has been kind of morphed to social democracy, but for me, it's still like, I still view it as a post-capitalistic philosophy. Whenever you uproot a mushroom, you'll see some thin root like shit right beneath it. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can never get rid of that because it goes all the way in everywhere. But anyway, like, so first things first for it is that I view it as a post-capitalist philosophy, which it is, or at least traditionally it was, and and I do see a democratic means, of the ownership of the production, something vital, because the workers should have their say and right into the workplaces that they have, like if they need upgrades. You know, it's not even necessarily for what, you know, the personal needs of the worker is. Sometimes what their actual store or department or whatever they're working at needs. Like, hey, we need equipment upgrades and shit, and we haven't been getting them for months. Which my store kind of needs, by the way. You know, example and point. We've, like, our, you know, our computers are shit. You know, if we actually had, like, a democratic workership, you know, and all of us, you know, complaining about it would eventually get us, you know, will eventually, you know, go up to the higher ups and talk to an elective committee, like you normally would do with like a town hall or like a with these like you know, like house committees, if you like to look at it on a federal basis as well. Just implement a similar type of structure within this, and then where people and workers can have their right to say, like, you know, kind of how we do in the unions as well. Like that would be boosted and become more of a standard. And I mean, that's just like a lot of various different things of a plethora of different things of what it could mean. Like another one would be like there will be public housing programs, a safety net, at first I would say a living wage income, but eventually I feel like we could do a transition to a universal basic income. Let's say you're an actual leftist, or no, I don't consider social dems leftists. Yeah, like, I mean, I do too. Well, I consider them left, but I kind of consider them like a light left. Like, I consider them like the gate of what the true left is. Like, they're like, hey, we're the gate. Yeah, essentially. But anything beyond that will be like center leftist, like neoliberalism, centrist, and then going onward and stuff. Like, that's kind of how I see it. Like, I kind of see them more as like the gate into like that sphere of what like just the left is, essentially. I mean, because like if anything beyond that, pro-capitalists are not leftists. Well, I do tend to agree, but that's why I say they're the gate, because there's a lot of things that tend to disagree with them, which is why they hang around at the gate of it. There's a lot of them that hang out outside, and there's some of them that hang out on the inside. That's kind of how, that's why I view them as like that kind of gate area, because if you're around the gate, a lot of you are on the outside chilling, and a lot of you are on the inside chilling. That's kind of how I view Socidems, instead, while anything beyond that is like the true left, essentially. Or, well, I mean, I don't think there is essentially a true left. I think there's just a big generalized left, and then, you know, just social democracy is like the last thing that is left in this whole political sphere of political philosophies, essentially, of what's like left to right and center, authoritative and not. The human body foot is shaped in an arch is most efficient load and bearing structure. Well, you're just popping out facts today. This is far right by definition. If you consider corporate Dems closer to center, you need to use different terminology. Well, I mean, they're definitely far right for sure. Like, neoliberalism is a right-wing ideology. Like, I was just naming things off that were just more to the right, like centrism, like center-left, center-right, moderate. You know, I'm just kind of was naming things kind of off, out, you know, just beyond that. And it's just mainly because of the Overton window, at least in U.S. politics, it's just been shifted so far to the right, because Dems are basically the neoliberal right light, and then you got the Republicans who are just kind of, a lot of them are just out there, and there's a few that are libertarian, some of them that are like the right light, but not light, essentially. And there's not many of those left either. I mean, it's just like, you got this like mishmash of just out there. Neoliberalism 100% private markets and oversight, and I totally hate that. Like, I mean, there needs to be oversight into, like, because honestly, it's just been proven that they obviously, like, these big corporations especially have proven that they can't just do things freely and do it within the benefit of the people as well, because they've exploited them to, you know, fucking beyond, beyond our damn graves, because people have died in the system countless times. So, you know, just, you know, getting bankrupted and, you know, end up being on streets and shit, you know, or you know, getting lugged with pills and opioids and get OD'd or whatever, you know, just whatever case it could be. I consider Dems and Republicans one party, so do I. A lot of them work together way too much. That's why we should break up the parties and make multiple. And add multiple parties on top of it. What are your thoughts on the Romans? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different periods you could look into the Romans, but overall, I hate the imperialism of the Roman Empire, so I don't really have a positive view of the Romans, but I mean, I'm sure I could look at the points of the Romans where I can say it's pretty cool. Carl, looking back at chat, you have me fucking everyone but you. Birthday. Uh-oh. Looks like he's about to get into you, Carl. You're going to bed already? It's only 11. Nah. I'm going to grab that tea really quick. I'll actually be right back. I know where it is. It's just right on that table.
Selecting the right attorney for your divorce is one of the most important decisions a man can make. Even though your case may last only a few months, the impact lasts a lifetime. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Get your phone questions answered at no charge. Call 1-800-DIVORCE, located at 111 Southwest Columbia Street in downtown Portland. 1-800-DIVORCE. That's 1-800-DIVORCE.
TV's in my room.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was just a bummer. I was hoping to just be on the table like I thought it was, but it wasn't. I want to take one more bowl because my battery's low. No. Well, I need something to clear my throat out a little. You know, if you take like a kind of a harsh shit, but it's not that harsh, but like 10 minutes later you get like that throat burn. Yeah, like I got that. It's just fucking, ugh, hate it. Oh no, partners. Dude, Sam Adams Porch Rocker is awesome beer. Pretty much a shandy rattler, in other words, half lemonade, half beer. Oh, damn, dude, that sounds good. Your partner's going to bed? Yeah, he is, dude. Did you know that comes from the word rattler, which comes from the German word for cyclist, because it was a German common beverage for German cyclists in the 18th, 17th century to have on Germany. That's cool, dude. And the Germans about the beer, yeah? I'd love to go to Germany, though. I actually would, if I were to ever go to Germany, it would be in East Germany. I'm not even just saying that because it's the East Germans. I'm saying that because imagine a lot of the historical shit you could dig up. Like if I were to take a metal detector and just go out in like some fields and forests out in the East German countryside. I mean, I bet I could find all sorts of cool shit, like maybe old weapons, old equipment, old helmets. I mean, there are people who have done that and found all sorts of stuff. So I've seen a YouTube video where someone does that for YouTube, on their channel, and they actually found a live grenade.
Wow.
And they were like, you know, fuck it, let's pull the pin, throw it out there, and they threw it. It delayed for like 5 seconds, so it was. Well, more like 6 or 7. It was a very long delay. It wasn't like a typical delay for a grenade. It was pretty long. I know 5 seconds is actually like an average delay, but it was really long. But then it then went boom. You know, you heard the explosion and kind of saw it out there in the trees, and it's like, well, it worked. A live grenade that actually was working, and they found it in the forest of Germany. My battery's just charging up. Yeah, I need to at least save some battery life so I can have a charge a little bit, because I do got like 2 things I need to do. Just need to go to the bank and grab one thing, and that's it. Get over here, Carl, before his battery dies. I saw a video on an old military transport truck discovered in East Germany in some woods. That's awesome. You know, that's why I want, like, if I were to go to Germany, that's where I'd go, is out in East Germany, like a small town out there or something. Or even in the eastern part of Berlin. I mean, because there will be a lot of cool. There will be a lot of. I feel like there's a little bit more of a cultural, historical aspect that you can find there, considering that World War II was like the Soviets, there's an armada of them that kind of came from the East, so you're bound to find equipment laying around in the dirt somewhere, even to this day, despite all the people still going out, you know, all these years. I mean, also, I know there's a reenactment bunker, like someone, like a memoriam, like, organization or nonprofit, refurbished this old East German, barracks bunker, and people can spend like a day or two there and pretend to be East German troops for and train and, you know, fire their guns and stuff, and, you know, get to learn about the East German military. And it's pretty cool. I've seen an article on it, and I want to go there and check it out, because then I can show up looking like this and be like, oh yes, I've come back after all these years, how is it going, comrade? I don't know how they'd feel about that, but I'll be like, but it'll be I could come in there all, you know, already with the stuff. It's like, I don't need all of it. I have it on. So it's just like, let's do it. Unfortunately, East Germany has lagged behind in a bit in terms of infrastructure. I do agree. And, you know, I feel like, I mean, I've heard, you know, since I do watch a lot of documentaries on YouTube of East Germany, I've seen a lot of comments talk about, you know, a lot of people talk about it, and I've seen some people say that if Germany didn't reunite until maybe on their own terms later on in the years or whatever, or if it was reunited as like the East German side, then there could have been an opportunity for the infrastructure to build up to more of the West standards so they can integrate better. That there's a lot of people making that argument. Some people are saying it was probably better for them to just stay separate. As separate nations, just renamed the two Germanys into like one just Germany and the other one like a different something. I mean, there's like I've heard a lot of different people say a lot of different things, and I would like to actually do like a whole alternate history talk on East Germany or on the Germanys in general, like after the Cold War, and, you know, see like what would be different alternatives of their reunification, or like what would be different alternatives of what could happen here. Throughout European history, generally speaking, the further east you go, the worse it gets. That's kind of true. That includes with war, too. The more east you go out in the battlefield, the more likely you're going to lose. My phone is actually literally on 2% somehow from 6% like 1 minute ago. That is some bullshit. You getting antsy over that game? Damn.
Huh?
I'm getting antsy over that game.
No, my legs are starting to twitch.
Oh. Is that like a side effect from the medication or something? Or just antsiness?
It was neuropathy.
Oh.
It has to do with
just
diabetes.
Diabetes.
Makes me twitch.
Happy birthday, Carl. Aw, someone's got a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Carl. I do have to say that before my phone dies, for sure. I've said it a couple times at least, but I just want to make sure it was said. Oh, wow, my phone's really gonna... Someone's calling me right now, my phone's gonna die. This is... Oh my god, someone called me and it killed my phone.